screwdriver is missing? Someone's gotta have it!
I don't know.
Who the hell is it?
I don't know.
God!
This officer's making rash decisions right now. Oh no. I actually saw someone almost get attacked with a screwdriver once. This guy had gotten beat up. Someone drug him out of the dorm, beat him up out around the corner. The guy who got beat up comes running back into the dorm, makes a beeline for his locker, goes, ruffles around, comes out with a screwdriver and takes off sprinting across the dorm. He's gonna go stab the dude who beat him up. It's time to get into secrets about how inmates really think. I was a commercial pilot and I flew marijuana around the country in a private airplane. I was convicted in the biggest drug conspiracy in Washington state history, and I did time in prisons just like this. Orange is the New Black brings back vivid memories. First, let's set the scene. Piper's been in prison a couple weeks now and she's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with things. As well, she started her first job as an electrician and she loses a tool which can cause all kinds of drama. So we get into what that is and also how to handle contraband, where to store it, and how to dispose of it.
Can I ask you something?
I don't know, can you?
Yeah. It's just that my girl Mercy's getting out, and I was thinking maybe you could make that cake that you do. Like the one you made at Easter. That shit was the bomb.
She's asking for a cake to be baked for her friend who is going back home. Someone's getting released from prison. They're stoked. You might wonder, why are they baking a cake? Why do they throw parties? Well, just imagine being stuck in a place in some sort of adverse situation like prison for years. You form some friendships, some bonds. You have groups of people who like hanging out together. When someone leaves, it is bittersweet. There's a person leaving who, of course, they want to leave. They're really excited. But also, there's this feeling of loss because they're leaving all these people behind who could be there for 10 years. They might not see them for a long time. Also, the people who have to stay obviously are a little bit jealous that their friend's leaving, or they're just sad that they're not going to have that person there to interact with anymore. So they have these parties, cakes get baked, they have all kinds of food at these parties when people leave sometimes. And I've seen someone bake a cake. They go to real high extents to bake cakes. So I saw someone bake a cake once where they ordered a bunch of Snicker bars. Everyone threw in Snickers bars. And the baker took all the caramel and scraped it off the top of the Snicker bar and used it as a drizzle over the top of the cakes. These cakes come at a cost. The baker's probably charging some sort of commissary fee for baking the cakes. Or if it's a group of friends getting together, what they'll do is each of them will bring ingredients for the cake and give them to the baker, and the baker will do the work for free in exchange for getting to eat the cake.
Your friends went a little overboard.
When I first got here, my friend sent me all kind of shit too. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Piper just got a package from home, and so what she means, her friends went a little bit overboard. They sent her probably as many books as they were allowed to send. You're allowed to send 5 books at a time. Looks like Piper got a whole box here. Maybe she had multiple people send her 5 books. These things happen, especially when people first arrive to prison. They'll kind of get these large care packages, people trying to take care of them from the outside. This is something that does not go unnoticed by the prison population. As you see, this lady saw, and she said, yeah, my friends used to do that too. That's insinuating that what happens is after you've been in prison for a little bit of time, people forget about you. And this does happen. You get less magazines, less books, less people on email and phone calls over time. After 5 or 10 years, those things really start to slow down. The first year, when you first arrive, it's hot. People are watching that because it's a chance at manipulation. If you see someone who comes into prison, they're getting all kinds of care packages, all kinds of books, all kinds of magazines and letters, then you know they have support from the outside. For a manipulator, knowing that piece of information makes that person a target because they're going to go to that person, maybe try to have that family send them some books, some money for commissary. Maybe they'll just be manipulating Piper out of commissary because they can see that she has support and has money on her books. So this is a sticky situation when you're getting big care packages while you're in prison. It can make you a target.
Welcome to the electric shop. Tools are kept here. If you want a tool, turn in a chit. Chits have numbers. The numbers are assigned to you. If the tools go missing, we know who has them, and your ass is grass.
This actually happened to me at one point in the tool shed. I broke a drill bit. I was using it, broke the top off it. It was like, well, whatever. I threw it away. Well, turns out I went to, turn my chit in, and I had thrown that piece away, and now it was a missing piece. And that was quite a situation. You can't just throw broken tools away. They all have to be accounted for. What ended up happening was the officer went to the hardware store and picked up a drill bit and came and replaced it for me, or for himself, because he didn't want to deal with all the drama and paperwork of having a missing item, and he believed that I really threw it away. That could have been sketchy. I could have ended up in the hole. The reason I didn't was basically because the officer didn't want to do a bunch of pointless paperwork.
Simple as that.
Mr. Luchek, I think that there's been a mistake. I asked to be put in the education program.
Is that right, sweetheart?
Yes. I think I'd be more useful there. I was a TA in college.
What's that, like tits and ass?
This is actually a really common occurrence where someone will come into prison with a very specialized skill. Let's say they're a great carpenter. They will go through an entrance interview. They'll tell everyone that they're a carpenter. They will expect to get placement and work as a carpenter at the prison. What ends up happening is that there's jobs that just need to be filled, and that comes first. So that carpenter might find him or herself in the kitchen washing dishes because they need an extra dishwasher. You're not automatically assigned to where you'd be the best fit, but there are ways to work into a position over time after you've been in prison. So Piper's going to have to apply herself, make some connections, and make a job move from this electrician's job over to the education department, and she's going to have to figure out how to do that.
Read this. Then fix this. The light turns on, you can call it a day. That goes for all you newts. Read. Fix a lamp.
This is a classic example of prison work. Sometimes it just comes down to needing a warm body in a seat and just keeping that body occupied. So the officer's job is to make sure everyone's working. Sometimes there's not work to be done, so they kind of make things up or get people in spots where they can tread water. The officer's incentive is just to make sure everyone is occupied so they don't have to babysit them.
Jobs pay. This is bullshit.
Making 11 cents an hour.
Right, so I could like save up and buy a $6 Pepsi at the company store?
Pepsi, $5.75.
It's bullshit. I ain't picking cotton.
She makes a really good point that is actually a point of contention among a lot of inmates. It's, why would you work for so cheap? Some inmates say, you know what, we work because it is something that keeps mind busy and makes time pass. And there's other inmates who take a hard stance and say, man, I'm not working for 11 cents an hour. That's not enough for what I'm worth. I'm not even willing to free up any of my mental capacity on a job for 11 cents an hour. So the inmates who take that approach, which is what I did, was I basically tried to do almost nothing for work. In all the jobs that I had, I kind of faked and tried to automate so that I could spend time actually trying to rehab myself and better myself, whether that be creatively, learning how to draw, music, reading, writing. There's things that people can do in prison and they have time to better themselves, and some people take it as an opportunity to go full in on that, and that's what takes up their time and their direction in prison. And other people are working and watching TV and doing things that take up their mind so they don't have to worry about it, and the time passes as quickly as possible. There's different ways to do prison. This lady is taking the route of not wanting to work for cheap. The one thing I would say about her approach is, if you're taking the route of not wanting to work for cheap or for nothing for the prison, it's better to do it quietly and kind of flow under the radar and try to hide and not stick out. There's also these people who definitely stick out. They're constantly battling like she is. That doesn't end up well. I saw so many people get shipped to different prisons and to solitary confinement arguing with officers about work and how they're not going to work for these low wages.
You're one of them.
But your ass I am.
See, called it.
Fine.
One of them.
Sit in the cage and check out the tools. In other words, sit on your ass and do nothing all day. You think you can handle that?
You're speaking my language.
And the officers don't want to deal with that, really. They're going to try to, now she's on a tough road where she's going to be battling with this cop, and that never turns out well. So good luck to her.
That's what I'm talking about.
You lose a tool, you go to shoe.
You don't come back here, right?
That's what I'm hoping.
I hope so, too. Most of these girls are in and out so much, it's like they're fucking the place.
Mercy, can I have your combs? Yeah, take 'em, Woodstock.
How about your moo-moo?
Fine.
When people leave, they are giving away all their cherished possessions, all these things that they've collected and used in prison. You know, they're going to have a 6'5" locker that's full of prison gear. And when they go home, a lot of people give that all away because you're not going to need it anymore. It's easy to get shoes and shirts and clothes and bedding when you're on the outside, but it means a lot to people in prison. These moments of giving stuff away become very contentious moments. People argue over what's given away, who got what they're in line for. And it's the job of the person who's leaving to make sure all those things are given away. Usually the week before they leave, they start giving stuff away or laying claim to it. The day before they leave, they get rid of most of their stuff, and then they'll leave some things just open in their locker they'll usually leave it for their bunkmate to just handle.
I was gonna cut it up for yoga straps, you know, for stretching.
Okay. Whatever.
Whatever? That's my shirt. I gave you that shirt.
Yeah. You gave it to me, so it's mine. And I can give it to who I want.
Little girl. Don't make me go mad on you.
Who? You don't run me no more.
Yeah. You better watch it, bitch.
What's the drama?
Mercy, she'll know better than to fuck with Boo this close to her date.
Oh, shit. You think she'll try something?
She stole Shelley's date.
It is dangerous getting in beefs with people right before you leave. She talks about her stealing Shelley's date. What stealing someone's date is, let's say someone's going home in a week, so someone goes and they hit them and fight them and hit them with a lock and send them to solitary confinement. That will either get you a charge sometimes or get you a longer sentence or get your good time taken away or get your RDAP taken away. There's all kinds of things that can add time to your prison sentence. And so when people get close to the door, close to going home, they usually lay kind of low. They don't want to beef with anyone. Some people use the strategy of not even telling people that they're releasing because it's so high risk to have a wide open release date. If everyone knows and they're throwing a party and you're leaving in a week, that brings out the people who are jealous, the manipulators, the people who see that and are angry and just want to stop you from going home. So putting yourself at risk, you're definitely putting yourself at risk when you are announcing your departure date, and you're definitely putting yourself at risk when you are beefing with people getting close to your departure date because they can do something irrational and mess up you getting released from prison.
3 Mrs. Boo's ago, a week before her date, Boo had some girl jump her. There was a fight. Shelley had been growing out her nails. Mauled that girl like a tiger. Caught 2 more years down the hill.
So caught 2 more years down the hill. That probably means that she went from a camp up to the low to a different security prison with extra time. So you can switch security levels getting in a fight too.
Hey, how about a lunch break, Chapman?
Oh, God. Yes, please.
Baloney.
Chapman accidentally took that screwdriver just now.
The screwdriver is missing? Someone's gotta have it!
I don't know.
Where's the list of names?
What do you mean?
Who the hell is it?
I don't know.
God!
This officer's making rash decisions right now. Oh, no.
A screwdriver is considered...
So that officer had a decision to make right there. He could have probably taken that a little bit more slowly. The problem with him calling in reinforcements like this, he's trying to cover his own ass, but now it's getting run up the chain and they're going to be basically buried in paperwork and they're going to have to find this screwdriver and someone's going to have to be punished.
a deadly weapon. That is another 5 years on your sentence if you are caught with it in your possession.
Oh.
Donaldson, take her down to SHU and let her wait there until we can find a female officer to conduct a thorough search.
Don't touch me! I have to work on my stuff!
There's things that are fair in prison and the rules that are written, but there is also just the practicality of prison. And they have a lot of tools to punish you while staying within the rules, and they know how to use those tools. So people do fight the system and fight the guards and file paperwork, but it is a total uphill battle. And sometimes it just, people spend their whole sentences fighting the system, and it's kind of sad.
Yo, motherfucker's the drunk! Yo, smell his breath! Yo, motherfucker's the drunk!
Anyone else have a problem with a male officer?
Yeah, you think your angry friend Janae took it? What?
Happy hour. Who's up for margaritas?
Last time I drank tequila, I woke up in Weehawken.
Yeah, isn't that where you're from?
Fucking shithole.
Well, Piper loves tequila.
Gotta go.
Piper apparently accidentally took the screwdriver. It's in her pocket. The thing to do right here is not tell the other inmates, obviously, but she needs to circle around back towards that door that she just came out of at work and put the screwdriver on the ground so that the officers just find it. That would diffuse this whole situation. If something's found on you, you are going to be responsible for it. If something's found in your cell space, you're going to be responsible. If it's on your locker, in your locker, you're going to be responsible. If it's in a common area, they can't and won't pin it on anyone. So what you do with a screwdriver or some sort of contraband that you're sketched out about is you just put it on the ground in a common space and get rid of it.
Yeah. No. Clutter's the worst.
You get hit on the head today?
Okay. Yo, dump your shit. They doing a sweep.
Okay. Piper is screwing herself right now because she's holding the screwdriver. It's in her cell. What she needs to do when they say dump your shit, they're coming, that screwdriver you just toss right outside into that common area. Even if it's right in front of your cell, it doesn't matter. It just can't be on your person or in your bunk area. So this happens with cell phones a lot of the time. When that person runs by and say, basically, we're getting a shakedown, people take their stuff like that. They either have a really good hiding space for it and they're down to risk it, or they just throw it into the aisle and call it a day. Lots of cell phones have been lost by just throwing them into the common space. The officers walk through and they just pick them up. They're going to search for the numbers in there, but if there's not numbers going back to your home address or something or your visitors list, you're going to be fine. So she needs to throw that into the aisle.
What did you do?
I literally, I do not know. It was a mistake. I can't believe it.
Outside!
And I don't know why, as a veteran, I guess maybe she saw the cop coming. If a cop sees you throw something into the common area, then it was on your possession. So she might have been a little late to be able to throw that into the common area there, but she should have known at least to just huck it.
I need to thoroughly search your cubicle for contraband.
Yeah, this is actually how they search. It's pretty funny. Well, here's something different. They don't keep you near your cell. They put everyone outside as they search, but they do just destroy things. We literally came back to our cell a few times and had everything from both our lockers side by side, everything dumped out, piled on top of each other with hot sauce and condiments poured over top of it. So the officers, part of a search is just pure punishment. Part of a search is just destroying your area and your personal items in a way that says, hey, we're in control and you guys did something bad. Part of your punishment is us destroying your stuff. The other part of your punishment is us finding who did this and taking them to the hole. I didn't get to witness the officers destroying stuff when they searched that often, but this is how I imagine them doing it. Once even had a officer come in and with a crowbar and a hammer dismantle and destroy the drinking fountain, because apparently maybe people had been hiding stuff in the drinking fountain somewhere, so they just took a hammer to it.
All clear.
It's actually not that bad of a search in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like college, not city shit. We can teach her how to do it. He just messed up. Then you're okay. And then he.
If she wants to keep that screwdriver and she has to keep it for some reason, then she should be finding a hiding spot, maybe buried in the yard somewhere, where if it gets found, it's not tied directly to her. Under her bunk, if someone finds this, they know it's hers.
True. Come on, white girl.
You see a few things at this party that are kind of standard in prison parties. One is music. A lot of times people will have a boombox or an amp or something that they can play music from a small MP3 player. MP3 players are sold on commissary, and then you can buy music. Songs are about $1 a piece. And then if you have access to an amp or a boombox, which usually there is at a low or a camp in the music room, people will plug that music into it, have amplified music. So a lot of these parties have food and music. At dudes' prisons, there's not so much dancing like this, but there's definitely music and food.
Oh, so is that the screwdriver?
Yeah, lucky for you guys, I found this thing under the sink. Now let's all get back to normal, all right? Make the lamps work.
So this situation mirrors what happened with me and that drill bit. That drill bit ended up getting replaced. The difference is that all the reinforcements weren't called in and a big scene wasn't created before that was replaced. As well, a drill bit's not such a weapon hazard that a screwdriver is. I actually saw someone almost get attacked with a screwdriver once. This guy had gotten beat up. Someone drug him out of the dorm, beat him up out around the corner. The guy who got beat up comes running back into the dorm, makes a beeline for his locker, goes, ruffles around, comes out with a screwdriver, and takes off sprinting across the dorm. He's going to go stab the dude who beat him up. He gets stopped halfway across the dorm by one of the shot callers, and the shot caller says, hey, what are you doing with that screwdriver? He says, I'm going to go stab that guy who beat me up. And the shot caller was like, hey, you need to put that down, stop waving it around acting like a maniac, and you're going to get us all in trouble. Because what happens is basically, to take a sidestep here, explain there's group punishment. If this guy goes and stabs someone with a screwdriver, we're all going to get locked down, we're all going to get privileges taken away, things are going to suck. So there has to be a really good reason if this is going to happen. You know, just go do it willy-nilly like this. So this shot caller stops him. Put the screwdriver down, go put it back in your locker, let's talk. The guy says, no, I'm going to go stab him right now. And the shot caller just goes, whap! And slaps him open hand across the face so hard. It was amazing. I was standing like 10 feet away. And this dude just drops the screwdriver, tink, 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 onto the ground and does like a triple wobble, like almost out on his feet. And then just pauses for a couple seconds, bends down, picks up the screwdriver, and just shuffles back to his locker. Probably one of my favorite prison memories. So I'm gonna give this episode a rating of a B+. The reason it's not getting an A is because Piper's roommate or someone would have showed her how to dispose of that screwdriver if she wanted to get rid of it so bad, and no one stepped up and kind of showed her the ropes. If you're enjoying this Orange is the New Black Prisoner Reacts series, you can check out more in the playlist here. Also, if you're actually going to federal prison, I made a step-by-step guide of ways to stay safe and get time off of federal prison camp or low security federal prison. You can check out that playlist here. And that is the show for today. Choose your playlist now, subscribe, and until next time, this is Brandon at federalprisoninsiders.com.